Wow, thank you. You guys are amazing, truly. Whoa! Good morning. Wow. All right. So it is a fantastic morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure today to have the opportunity to share with you, to be up here, and for you to, thank you, Philip, to open your hearts, to open your minds. And maybe the science doesn't matter to a lot of people in medicine, but to me, it's one of the fundamental paths of how we move this and grow this in a sustainable and functional way. So I'm having to share some data and statistics with you today of what's going on right here in the United States. The status of healthcare and the emergence of a medical device, Beamer, and how we're looking at blood flow and how it's changing the perception of what microcirculation is, how blood flows, where it goes, and how we're changing the paradigm of medicine, as was said in this wonderful video today. So I want to spend a little bit of time or take a moment here on this idea of emergence. Because when you look at emergence, emergence is a process. It is, how can I say this? Is coming into being, something that comes into fruition, comes into being, or becoming important or prominent. In philosophy, science, or art, emergence occurs when the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And this means that the whole has properties that the parts do not have by themselves. And it's this emergence that's so needed in this time, in this era of chronic disease, as people manifest chronic disease, as we lead into, unfortunately, critical care situations. And this idea of the part being more, or the whole being more than the parts, rather, this is actually each and every one of you. Because this can't work without each and every one of you. It's so exciting to me to stand here in front of 1,600 people. I don't even know how many are here, but in the past, there would have been literally just one little row. And so to see this, my thanks goes out to you. You drive me to do this. I mean, this is a mission, this is a movement, and it feels literally like there's an army supporting and moving this forward. So thank you. I talked about emergence. These properties of emergence come about not because of the interactions occur among the parts, but it's not because any single one of the parts. It's all of them together. And so it's so important, and I see this when we talk about family, we talk about heart. It's just like the body. The heart can't act on its own. It needs other organs and other tissues to influence it, to integrate, to interface with it. And this brings me to this idea or notion of health. What is it? What is health? Each of us really probably have our own perspective or our own perception of what health is. The definition of health is the state of being which is free from illness or disease. It gets a little more complicated than that, but I'd like to invite you to think of health more as a continuum, a process, a progression of tendencies, behaviors, genetics, or epigenetics, and these provide a framework for each of our own unique expressions every single day we're alive, every single day we're breathing. Our health is more important than anything else. I don't know anything more important than health and love and relations. With that in mind, I want to explore this current state of health in our nation. Despite all that we have, the best technological advances, the best hospital, the vaccines, the injections, the drugs, Americans have shorter lifespans, higher infant mortality rates, higher incidence of chronic disease than many other high-income nations. And to me, this is a shock. And it has been shocking through my entire medical career to think, why isn't this progression changing or just trajectory changing in a more positive way? Americans, despite this, spend twice as much of health per capita compared to many other industrial nations. So it's not just sick and illness. This is now seeped into the roots of our fundamental economy, and it's affecting what's being spent and what's being saved. The United States here is ranked, let me back that up, sorry. There. The United States is ranked 37th on the list of healthiest countries, and this is compiled by the World Health Organization. France maintains the best health, with Italy a close second, and Canada is 30th. There's someone. Who are these countries in these columns? These names of these countries? They're people. People make up countries. Philip Townsend made a comment about people making up businesses. Businesses don't do deals with businesses. People do business deals with people who are running businesses or are a part of businesses. And these are people just like you, just like me. And I don't have the slides here, but in the background of these images. Has everyone heard of the elephant in the room? I heard someone say something about gorilla in the room. For those of you who don't know, an elephant in the room is something that is present, something that is right in front of you. But you look around it, you look through it, you try to avoid it. I mean, an example of the elephant in the room would be these chairs here. Why are these chairs sitting here? You could probably guess, but they're right in front of your face. No one's in them. Yeah. The elephant's always there, and when it relates to healthcare, it's not going away. In fact, it's actually getting bigger. We really need to change the borders of our perceptions. We need to change these boxes of our minds. We need to open ourselves. Because really what it is, it's these delineations that limit the paradigm of our current healthcare system. That's how we make the change. And each of you here are either in the process of doing that or have done it because you're involved with this company, you're involved with this product, you're involved with this business. Full circle out, this is where we stand today in healthcare. This is a ranking depiction, as you guys see up on the slides here. And the darker states are the least healthy states, and the lighter colored states are the most healthy states. Can you see a pattern here? The southeast and south central United States shows the darkest colors, and when you look at the west coast and the northeastern United States, showing the best health amongst the nation. And you can have ideas of why this is, but I'm going to tell you why this is. It's a combination of lifestyle choices and genetics that have led to this chronic issue. Cardiovascular diseases such as heart disease became the #1 cause of death in the world and is the leading cause of death in the United States. Followed by cancer, #2, iatrogenic 3. By the way, iatrogenic means physician or doctor caused. And respiratory infections 4 and stroke 5. So really you have to ask yourself, what's led up to this outcome? And as I said before, it's lifestyle factors like poor diet, lack of exercise or movement. There's also epigenetic triggers. Epigenetic triggers are how your environment washes over your genes to express them, to turn them on or to turn them off. Heart disease. We keep talking about heart, yet just this disease is like a rusted root rotting from the inside. Inflammation, we see cardiovascular disease, we see inflammatory cascades that are modulating and mediating this. It's not just the food, it's the food. What you see, smell, taste, feel, experience, and how you process that through your individual perspective or perception, your world. Stress. Out of control is what's causing a lot of these things as well, and that's also a choice. And you might stand here, sit there and say, oh, well, I have stress, I don't have a choice. You change your relationship to that stress, remove yourself, or you change the way you react or respond to it. It's your choice, that's part of life. Heart disease kills more than 800,000 United States citizens annually, and the cost expenditure for treating heart disease is literally over $100 million. $100 billion. That's astronomical. When you're looking at this slide here, these are 2017 values of heart disease rated by state. Again, the darker states are the most affected, the lighter colors are the least affected. And this has been steadily rising, and other things that are rising with this are the rates of diabetes, the rates of stroke, the rates of obesity. As you look up at this slide here, this is 2017 values of stroke rates. Same story, darker, more serious and affected, lighter, less. 2017 values of type 2 diabetes. And I'll tell you, over the past 40 years, from 1980 to 2018 currently, the number of diagnosed adults with type 2 diabetes has quadrupled. These are facts and figures, and I'm sorry for the doom and gloom, but these are facts. Dr. Klopp was talking about delivering, and science is based on facts. That's a fact. That's what science is. Obesity. According to the most recent data, adults' obesity rates now exceed 35% in 5 states, 30% in 25 states, and 25% in 46 states. West Virginia being the highest at 37.7%, and Colorado the lowest at 22.3%. And I appreciate that too, because that's exciting and people are raising for Colorado. But the truth is, family is not just in your home. You're connected to people. You're connected to people in your tribe, connected to people in your family, connected to people in your state, your county, your nation. It's the biggest danger to separate or even perceptually separate yourself from another person. The only way you could do that is through judgment. And there's no place for that in love or heart. There really isn't. So these are all 4 put together here. Here's a depiction of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. Death rates. I'm not just talking about the expression, but death rates. 610,000 people from stroke. Almost 800,000 people per year from stroke. Almost over 250,000 individuals dying related to diabetes. Death rates from obesity? Not really. You don't usually die from obesity. However, I can tell you being overweight or obese is the single most detrimental parameter of many chronic diseases. And here's the thing that's interesting. It's preventable. And you can say, no, I'm genetically like this. I have endocrine disbalances. Yeah, I can see that. That's true. But you do have a choice. Not just, again, in the food or the water or the things that you drink, but in how you process the world around you, what you see, smell, taste, feel, hear, experience. That has everything to do with diet. Yeah. Feeling restricted? Are you feeling tired, winded, fatigued? There's a lot of people who experience these type of symptoms. It's shown that more women experience heart attacks or myocardial infarctions, and they don't go to the hospital than men. However, even when people experience these symptoms, they don't know how restricted their blood flow is until sometimes it's too late. Lifestyle comes into this. Beamer comes into this at this point. Your daily choices and your decisions come into this. People think it's because of that organ that sits in the center of your chest, about the size of your fist. And yeah, that is the tip of the iceberg, and it does manifest there. But it preempts, as you heard me in this video, many times in the microcirculation, the microvessels. The heart's presence exists throughout the entire body via the vasculature that connects it and the blood that flows through it. And that's really a very strong statement to make. And it's a very difficult statement to understand. You know what? It's morning time. We're going to have fun here. Just for a moment. Stand up. Everyone stand up. I want you to feel this. Stand up. And this isn't the rah-rah stuff we did yesterday a little bit. Stand up. Stand behind your chair if possible. If you're unstable, you can grab onto it. But what I would like, please don't video, ma'am. What I would like is for you to stand there and just stand straight and close your eyes. And just take breaths in and out. Slow, smooth, deep, even breaths. Find your center, forward, back. Breathe in. And what I'm going to ask you to do is put your legs shoulder width apart. Okay? And on your next inhale, lift your hands up to the sky as high as you can. Feel comfortable. Palms to the air. Turn your palms out and drop your arms and release your breath. And shake. And I mean shake. Move your body up and down. Don't bounce off the ground. Your toes should be on the ground. Your hips should move. If you feel confident, you can move a little back and forth. Move your arms. Move your legs. Move your shoulders. Breathe. Let it out. Yeah. I mean really shake vigorously. Let it go. Let it go. It's morning time, folks. We're waking it up. And like Dr. Klopp said, stop. Shh. Feel. I want you to feel the flow of blood moving through your body, the coursing of life, of chi, of life force. Because that's what circulation is. That's the feeling. And you can't feel this all the time, every day, because you wouldn't be aware of it. But the fact is, this is exactly what Beamer is doing. You're moving from the outside, external exercise. Think of Beamer as stimulating you from the inside, internal exercise. Please have a seat. Yeah, thank you. There you go. That's actually a technique called Qigong. Qigong is from early ancient Chinese philosophy, and Qigong means cultivation of qi, or energy, and not some airy-fairy energy stuff. Energy is the ability to do work, the force applied to do work. So maybe we can't always tell when our blood's flowing well, and we can certainly feel good when that's flowing. It feels good to be perfused. It feels good to have that internal movement, to feel that circulation. And when we think of a vascular therapy like Beamer, we think of something that has an effect on the vessels, the circulation. Beamer has its best known effects on the smallest vessels in the body, the microcirculation. This vascular is embedded within all organs, and it's responsible for the distribution of blood within all your tissues. We know the importance of exercise, but a lot of times we don't move. It's easier to sit. And I can promise if you sit too long, or you sit in one area of your life too long, or mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you'll stagnate. And there is no stagnation in life other than, fermentation, as you look at that, that's still movement. Make no mistake about it, healthy circulation, or should I say microcirculation, is the cornerstone of life and health. Materials need to move in and around the body in a functional way. Nutrients and micronutrients need to be taken in, absorbed, assimilated, and then delivered to their target tissues based on the metabolic needs. Fact, all organs need, and cells need, functional blood flow. You think an athlete needs good blood flow? Yeah. You don't need to be a sick person to utilize the Beamer because it's a quote-unquote medical device. Many athletes continue to use the Beamer to enhance their performance and decrease recovery time, as we saw with Ram, biking, Terry Shields yesterday. The faster you can recover, the better you can regenerate. And the more efficient you are at repairing tissue, the better you'll perform. Doesn't matter whether you're an NFL athlete or a mother or a grandmother or grandfather, it takes effort and work to perform, to show up. And that means blood needs to flow. Beamer application really shines as it relates in the field of rehabilitation. Using Beamer consistently with my patients has delivered shorter regeneration times and shorter recovery periods, as well as supporting them as a part of a healthy lifestyle choice, or what we call in medicine, therapeutic lifestyle choices or changes, to decrease the risk of future injuries. Beamer can also be used to enhance performance, overall performance capacity. Illnesses. While Beamer is not cleared in the United States by the FDA to treat any illnesses or diseases, it can be used as a wonderful adjunct application to support healthy circulation and really has become a go-to therapy for a lot of healthcare providers, clinicians, physicians in the field. Increased blood flow can improve the effects of drugs, diet, medications, nutraceuticals, supplements, as well as supporting overall health and wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, it's true, as we get older, it gets a little more difficult to perform. And you'll be happy to know that a lot of individuals who use the Beamer notice increased cognition, a little faster with the mind, a little more effective and efficient with their bodies as well as increasing their defenses, their immune systems. I wanted to throw this study up here because it's really important. Over 50, and you can read it here, 52,610 individuals were tracked and followed. And they were tracked and followed looking at the relationship of recovery, meaning regeneration for sleep, and the incidence of acute myocardial infarctions, i.e. heart attacks. It showed this, that there was a moderate increase of individuals who have poor sleeping habits or insomnia in expressing or actually having a myocardial infarction or heart attack. All of a sudden, your sleep becomes important to live. And if you're not sleeping, you're slowly dying. Beamer's also been shown to play a crucial role in prevention. As we increase our perfusion of blood, it therefore increases nutrients, it increases oxygen, and we have increased energy production, or ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Beamer also enhances your white blood cells, your immune system, through something called ICAM1, intracellular adhesion molecule 1, enhancing the roll action, not making more white blood cells, but mobilizing existing ones. This not only can reduce your susceptibility to things like infection, but it can also strengthen your body's physical defenses. Beamer can be used throughout this healthcare continuum here by individuals seeking to live their life more optimally. And it's a good investment, whether it's through healthy living, whether it's through prevention, whether it's through treatment, whether it's through recovery, or in home care. Think of it this way: Beamer in healthcare, Beamer in wealth care, and Beamer in wellness management. It's a beautiful combination when you think of it this way. So, applying Beamer in clinical practice. I'm not here to talk about myself. These chairs will be filled. How did I get into Beamer? I researched the research. I was skeptical. I came in very scientific, wanting to know who's putting their money where their mouth is. And this company did, does, and do. Two things I found out from my research. And this was not just researching the research, but actually putting this to work in my clinical practice. I have no problem of deploying a non-invasive therapy in clinical practice just because there's not 100,000 people in a double-blind placebo-controlled trial. Here's the deal. It works, and it's safe. Yeah. I have logged hundreds of hours and thousands of hours, not just utilizing the Beamer, but guiding individuals through utilizing the Beamer. Like I said, I don't want to talk about my own practice, but what I want to do, rather, is invite some guests up here. I want to invite 6 colleagues. And these clinicians will answer some important questions. A lot of these questions come from you folks right in the field that I hear on a daily basis, which comes into the Beamer user hotline. A lot of them use this in their practice every day, or will refer the use of Beamer out as an adjunctive support system for general health and wellness.